Spanish 1, sentences 265 to 268. 265. They ought to read more books. Ellos deben leer más libros. Ellos deben leer más libros. 266. Olivia and I ought to play baseball. Olivia y yo debemos jugar al béisbol. Olivia y yo debemos jugar al béisbol. 267. Gustavo has only $100. Gustavo tiene solo $100. Gustavo tiene solo $100. I have more than $150. Yo tengo más que $150. Yo tengo más que $150. Now, deber is to should or to ought. All right? Like they ought to study, they ought to sing, they ought to dance. Okay, just visualize a girl named Deb who's real beautiful and think, wow, Deb ought to be a model, or Deb ought to be an actress. So deber is ought. So they ought to read more books. Ellos deben leer más libros. If you're confused with más, muy, and mucho, I've got a clip on that. Just type in más, muy, mucho. Olivia and I ought to play baseball. Notice, if it's Olivia and I, it's we. So it's debemos jugar al béisbol. Notice, Mr. I thought in Spanish it's always I before E. It's normally I before E except for 4 words in Spanish 1. 6, seis is the I. 20, veinte is the I. 30, treinta is the I. And baseball. Baseball is EI. So it's always I before E except for 6, 20, 30, and baseball. And remember, anytime a sport is being played, you stick it in al. Just remember, Al loves to play sports. So you don't say we play golf. You don't say jugamos golf. You say jugamos al golf. And notice the accent here says, hey, don't stress the vowel we normally stress. Stress me instead. Now, Gustavo has only $100. A lot of people confuse solo with an accent and solo without. Everybody say the only difference is the accent. Go. The only difference is the accent. If there's an accent over solo, it means only. If you take away the accent, how does the word solo feel? It feels alone and lonely. So solo without an accent is alone or lonely, and solo with an accent is only. Okay? Now, a lot of people confuse cien and ciento. I've got a clip on that. Just type in cien or ciento. If it's exactly 100, you say cien. If it's a little more than 100, like 103, 150, 110, you add to. So you only say cien when it's exactly 100. Think about a century is exactly 100 years, or a centimeter is exactly 1/100th of a meter. So he has only $100, and I have more than $150. Notice, since 150 is more than 100, cien expanded or stretched out to ciento. All right, that's Spanish 1, 265 to 268.